Nicholas, that's a double dribble. You stopped and then you kept going. Don't. You okay, Mojo? Stop. If he makes it, it's a point. If he misses, go ahead. Try to make it. And you can't stop. You can't just run with the ball, Nick. You have to bounce it. Get it, Mojo, get it. Mojo. You fouled my baby again, Nicholas. That's a foul, right, Mojo? Jesus. Foul, Mojo. You fouled my baby again. Nicholas, say hi. Say a nice hi to my people. Say hey, Mojo.
Hi.
I'm shutting it down when I pop out. Riding downtown with the top down. Sun's got everybody out now. Yeah. Riding with my girls looking so good. Playing my song, feeling so good. Only good vibes in my book. Yeah. All we wanna do is have a good time. I'm really loving the vibes. I'm feeling so free in the light when I'm outside. And if you want to rewind, this is summertime. To the beach, you can meet me there. Tell me when you get there. Texting this boy with the long hair. Yeah, sky's so pretty as a sunset.
Hey guys, welcome back to another vlog. Should I put this a little higher so you can see me? I know it's been a little minute. It's been a couple weeks since I've vlogged. Honestly, well, let me say welcome first before I give y'all all my excuses of where I've been. My name is Jaleesa Graham. If you're new, I love it if you guys would subscribe and join my YouTube family. We're almost at 2,000 subscribers. And if you're returning, thank you guys so much for returning. If you're new, I'm an actress, a model. I have a limb difference. I am an adoptive and foster mother, and I just do like day in the life videos. I do like questions about foster care, about adoption, about modeling, about getting your children into modeling. My son Gabriel, he's on like the pull-ups box for 4T to 5T. I do sit down, chit chat, story times and things like that. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, I would love it if you guys hit that subscribe button. I haven't done a video in a while, but we're back on it. We're back being consistent with posting. I graduated from college, guys, and now I have a degree in TV production. So now I'm deciding when I'm going to go and continue my degree and get a degree in theater and acting. If you guys follow me on Instagram at Jaleesa Graham, you'll see that I've done acting in like New Amsterdam. I've done modeling for like OLAY, Tommy Hilfiger, and things like that. So make sure you guys follow me over on Instagram. But sometimes, guys, when I take a break, I honestly am just trying to soak in the moment. As a mama, I took a break from school to focus on being a mom, but I'm at a point in my life where I've realized that I can be a mom as well as accomplish all of my dreams and all of my goals. So I went back to school last summer and I didn't say anything about it, and I just kind of focused. It was not easy. It was not easy, but I did it. I finished. I did summer classes, night classes, all kind of classes to complete and get my degree. So now I'll insert like a picture from graduation. I also did post on my Instagram, but I'll insert like a little post that I have from my, sorry, I'm trying to turn, y'all. It's a lot. It's like one of those intersections where it's a lot going on. But I hope this person let me go and be nice. Yay, thank you. So let me go. All right, I'm trying to get some Chick-fil-A. Can I just have a Chick-fil-A meal? Can I just have the sandwich with no pickles?
The meal?
Yes.
No pickles and for the drink?
Frosted lemonade. And just ketchup, please.
Can you pull up?
Yep.
Anything else?
That's all.
Alright, so one Chick-fil-A sandwich meal, no pickles, medium fries, and frosted lemonade for the drink and ketchup, right?
Yeah, I'm paying cash.
Alright, so total will be $12.36 and you're going to follow with the...
Okay. Sorry, y'all, I gotta get my shit. Okay, thank you. Yep. I gotta get my Chick-fil-A, guys. Let me get my money ready for Chick-fil-A. But yeah, actually, look, I'm deciding on what I'm gonna vlog about as I'm vlogging. I think I'm gonna answer some of the questions that I always get from a foster mom or as a foster mom. So one thing that I'll do, sorry if this video is not direct, I literally just picked up the camera and felt like vlogging, and that's what I think I'm gonna do, because sometimes, guys, a little advice, if you want to do like content or things like that, sometimes you can really get in your own head about making something perfect and like filming it and having the idea, and you know, and then you end up never doing it just because you're trying to make it so perfect. So sometimes just pick up the camera, film whatever throughout your day. On a day that you feel pretty or you feel like nice, pick up the camera, put it on yourself, film. Even if you don't know what it's for, just film stuff, and then later on, like, you might be on TikTok and hear like a sound, and then you'll be like, oh, what I filmed the other day is like perfect for this sound. So long story short, just pick up the camera and film, and that's what I'm doing today. I don't really know what this video is going to be about, but I wanted to film. Hi Jaleesa. Okay. Yeah. All right, thank you. You too. All right, y'all. So I'm just making a decision. I'm just gonna make a decision, and this is gonna be answering foster questions. Let me get my food first, y'all. I'm so hungry.
What was the name?
Jaleesa.
The sandwich with the frosted lemonade?
Yes. Oh, thank you. All right, thank you. Yeah. Have you ever had the frosted lemonade? It's good. I didn't like it at first. I think it kind of tastes like a, to me it tastes like a sherbet-y. I'm sorry, the camera's shaking. It has like a sherbet-y ice cream taste, and I was like, nah, I don't really like it. And then after I had it, I was just craving it. But let me eat a little bit. You know what, I might park in the shade real quick. All right, guys, my phone overheated, But I'm parked a little bit and like the shade. I decided I'm gonna do this video and answer a couple questions I always get about fostering. So let's go, because it's very hot outside. I just be rambling. All right, guys, let me answer some questions that I always get. I don't have a list or anything, but these are just questions that I know I always get about fostering, adopting. And I think my next video, I'll probably do like a day in the life. One question that I always get about fostering is, do you have to be married to become a foster parent? And the answer to that is no. I recently met a woman and she wanted to foster, and she was like, well, you know, she was like, I don't know, because she was like, I don't know how they see single women. And that's just like a assumption, I guess you would say, about fostering, is that you have to be married, you have to live in like a big house, you have to be like this certain amount of things in order to qualify as a foster parent. And that's not true. When I became a foster parent, I was not married. But what I will say, and now I'll also say this, in each state the rules are a little different, but overall the same. So like overall, you don't have to be married to become a foster parent. You can be a single woman, you can be a single man. There's this foster dad, I follow him on TikTok and Instagram, and I can't think of his name, but if I think of it, or if it comes to me while I'm editing this, I'll put it below. And he has a lot of followers, and he's a single dad foster parent. You can be a woman, you can be a man, you have to be of 18, you have to be 18 years of age or older. In my state, you have to be at least 10 years older than the children that you are fostering. I don't know if that's in every state though, because I know in some situations, like if you're an older sibling and you're like 18 and you want to care for like your 14-year-old sibling, you know, I don't know how that. I'm thinking that they would let you, but like, and another thing with foster parenting, why it's hard to answer it, because there are overall rules, but there are situations where they make exceptions in certain cases, you know. But overall, you can be in a 2-mom household, a 2-dad household, a husband and wife household, a boyfriend and girlfriend household. You don't have to be married. Another question I get, do you have to own a house? No, you don't have to have a house. You can be in an apartment. You don't have to have a house to be a foster parent. Overall, you don't have to be rich to be a foster parent. You have to, when you're applying to be a foster parent, I'll make it quick. What you have to do overall, you fill out some paperwork. You go, I don't know how it works now, because when I became a foster parent, it was about 8 years ago, and it was before COVID. So once you do sign up to become a foster parent, you go into like this appointment group where it's like a bunch of people, not a bunch, but it was like maybe 12 people that wanted to be a foster parent. They sit down with you, give you a little bit of information, you watch some videos. This is before COVID. You know, a lot of things are virtual now, but we did it in person then. And then they kind of give you a insight of what it's like to be a foster parent. And then from there, they say, okay, now if you heard this and you're still interested, now we're going to move forward with you. So all the people that want to move forward, then you move forward. Then they assign you like a caseworker. The caseworker comes to help you get licensed. So like you have a caseworker. So I have a caseworker as a foster parent. I have a caseworker and then every child that comes into my home, they have a caseworker. So for example, if the caseworker to my child is like, if I have a problem with them, or like if they're not being respectful of my time or whatever, that's when I call my caseworker and I say, hey, I'm having this issue. Hold on, my phone looks like it's lagging, y'all. Hey guys, so I'm gonna film like this because the phone keeps overheating. And then I'm gonna go, I don't wanna film when I get home, just because I know my kids are ready to go to the water park. So I'm gonna make this quick, but like I was saying, answering some questions about foster parenting, and then if these questions bring up more questions that you have, make sure you guys comment below and I'll do another video. But this is gonna be quick and short. I didn't know what I was gonna film about when I picked up the camera, and this just came to my mind. So these are questions that I always get. I was answering them, but the phone overheated. You get licensed and go through that whole process. They'll tell you how much space you have in your home and how many children you can have in your home. And every state is a little bit different. But overall, to foster, you have to just be able to take care of yourself and show that you can take care of like your bills and your expenses. You do things like fingerprints, you do background checks. You can't have anything in your background that's like a violent crime. Obviously, you can't have any crimes against children. And then things like parking tickets. If you went to jail for like a parking ticket, that's not going to disqualify you. But you know, obviously things against children, or if you've ever had your children, your own children taken away in the past in foster care, then you wouldn't be able to qualify, and then you become licensed. And then basically you get a phone call when there's a child in need of a home. You'll get a call and they'll say, hey, we have a 3-year-old boy that needs a home. Sometimes they know a lot about the situation, sometimes they don't, and they'll tell you what they know, and then you can say, oh yes, I would like to take this placement, or you could say, no, you know, this is not a good time. All right, y'all, my phone keep playing with me. My phone keep overheating and playing, but now at this point I'm invested in this video and I'm gonna get it done. So should I start over? No, I'm not gonna start over. I'm gonna make this quick, y'all. I keep saying it. So if you are like a boyfriend and girlfriend situation, or you live with someone, every adult in your household though, like every adult in your household has to also become licensed. Every adult in the household, even like if you live with a roommate, your roommate has to be licensed. Your roommate has to do the classes. Because everyone in the household that foster child is going to be living in has to be fingerprinted and have a background check. Obviously, and that makes sense though, because it's like you don't want the child being in a home with like one person that you guys have, that, you know, the division has checked and everything is okay with them, but then right next door it's someone that they don't know anything about. So everyone, take that into consideration. Everyone in the household has to be checked. And then when it comes time to licensing, see, I don't know what I talked about and what I didn't, so let's start again, and let's make this quick like I just said. Y'all, I'm gonna still post this video though. Now, a lot of the times when I'm fostering, I get the question, are you gonna adopt him, are you gonna adopt her, when in reality the purpose of foster care is for you to care and love a child and open your home to a child and give them a safe place to live while their mother or father work and receive services in order to have their child back with them, which is called reunification. The purpose of foster care is always for the child to be reunified. Obviously, because adoption exists, we know that that doesn't always happen. But when a child comes to me, it's always the plan for them to go back with their mother and father, mother or father. In most cases, if say mom and dad are together of the child that you have, and mom and dad are working their services, but then a grandmother comes and says, hey, I'm totally ready for the child right now. The division will look into the grandmother, do fingerprints, do background checks. The grandmother has to do classes. Sometimes if the fingerprint check and the grandmother has a home big enough and everything else is okay, the division will take the child from the foster home, give them to the grandmother, and while the child is with the grandmother, let the grandmother do the foster parent classes. But they will place the child with the grandmother before she completes the classes if like her background and everything is fine. So while a child is with you, the plan is for them to go back with their mother and father. But if an aunt or a cousin or a friend or a family friend, a grandmother, grandfather comes up and says, hey, I want the child, while the mom and dad are trying to get the child back, I want them to be with me. The division will always prefer that a child is with an aunt, grandma, grandpa, cousin, sister, brother of the parents versus being in foster care. So sometimes I have kids and their parents aren't done completing the services, but a child will leave my home because a grandmother has said, hey, and the grandmother has qualified and the division did all the background check and they see that the grandmother is a safe place, they'll go with the grandmother. And then they'll stay with the grandmother until the mother and father do complete their services and have the child back with them. So when I have a child, I don't know how long they're going to be with me, unless it's a respite placement, which is a child that is in a foster home, and the foster home is either going on vacation for 10 days, or they have a family emergency for 5 days, or they had a pre-planned trip where, you know, or they have a trip, but the child's parents don't want the child to go on the trip, then that child has to go from that foster family to another foster family, which is a respite placement. I've done a lot of respite placements to where I'll have a child for a weekend, I'll have a child for 10 days, 7 days. Even though a child is in foster care, that child's parents still has rights as to say, you know, I don't want my child going on vacation with the foster family. So then the division will have to find another home for the child to go to while that foster family is on vacation. Sometimes the division can go to a judge and have the judge like overrule the parents' decision to get the child to go on the vacation anyway. But a lot of times when I have foster placements and I say, hey, I'm going on vacation soon, and I ask the caseworker, hey, can you ask mom, can you ask dad if, you know, the baby can go on vacation with us? The caseworker will ask, and then the caseworker will come to me and say, hey, yeah, mom and dad said yes, they can go with you, you know. But yeah, there's so much stuff to explain about foster care. That's why I always try to keep it on one thing, but the more I talk, the more I think of things. What is another question that I get a lot of? The money when you foster, the money. The money. Yes, you do get money when you are a foster parent. I think a lot of people think you get thousands and thousands of dollars to be a foster parent. You get so much money, you can live on a cruise ship somewhere and you can travel the world all day and night. A lot of people think a lot of foster parents do it for the money. You do it just for the money. You just take in these children because you want to get rich off of the money. Yes, you do. That reminds me of there's a foster mom, and her video went viral because she's a foster mom, and she did a video on how much exactly she gets for her foster children versus how much her expenses are for her foster children, and she has negative dollars left. Again, this is a thing where every state, the stipend is different for every state. You do get a stipend for each child that you have, but you do not get rich for being a foster parent. And if you're doing it for the money, you're doing it for the wrong reason, okay? Just imagine like being a child, right? And every child that is in foster care, the reason they're removed is because they've received some form of neglect or abuse, right? So they've already had to deal with that. And then being removed from their home. Imagine even us as an adult waking up one day tomorrow, someone comes to get you, takes you to a totally strange place with strange people, and says, okay, you're gonna live here for now. That is trauma in itself. So the idea that somebody would take a child that's already been through that, because being put into foster care is trauma in itself. Whether you have amazingly nice foster parents or not, just being removed from your home is traumatic for a child. So, and that's when you even have great foster parents. And then we all see on the news where they're like terrible foster parents that just do disgusting things that just need to be in jail for the rest of their lives. But majority of the time, I know a lot of foster parents, and a lot of foster parents are good people. A lot of foster parents, you know, I think when people hear the term, you know, foster parent, they think of like for example, I'm a foster parent, and I don't think many people think of like someone like me when they think of like a foster parent. Like, I'm a foster parent. I love kids. I take in kids that need a safe place to live for the time being, and I have them with me until their family has completed whatever they need to complete to have their child back. I love it. I love my foster children, my babies. A lot of the time I get to keep in contact with them. There go that dragonfly. A lot of the time I get to keep in contact with him. In my state, I don't ever have to contact or communicate with the birth parent, and they don't ever have to contact or communicate with me. I know in some states, foster parents are like required to do visits. Like they have to do the visits with the children and their birth families or their first families. When my foster child has a visit, a person from the division will pick her up, take her to her visit, bring her back. You know, so I don't ever really interact with the parents unless sometimes in baby bag I might send pictures. When the child is with me, if we do fun things, I'll take pictures and print them out at like CVS or things like that. Those are nice things. I don't y'all Woo, that dragonfly. I don't ever like to be judgmental of either. You can either say birth parent or first parent. I like to say it as to whatever the parent feels comfortable with. My foster daughter's mom, I don't call her her birth parent or her first parent. I just say her mom. You know what I mean? But I love to like send her pictures and things like that. So she can see as she's growing, things like that. So every visit I'll give her like pictures and stuff like that. On Mother's Day, I'll pack in like her baby bag a Mother's Day gift, or like, you know, something they make at daycare. I'll give it to her mom in the baby bag and things like that. And then the division does encourage relationships between the parents and the foster parents, but it's totally up to your discretion. That's in this state. I know in other states where foster parents, it's the foster parents' responsibility to do the visits and supervise the visits and transport and things like that. I have gotten along with a majority of my children's parents, and sometimes it just doesn't work out. In all reality, it's not all rainbows and unicorns. Sometimes parents just don't want to be your friend as a foster parent. That's the reality of it. Sometimes and don't ever take it personal if you're a foster parent. Sometimes it's just a hard time in their life. They want their children back with them. They don't know you, and they just want this point in their life to be over. You know what I mean? And it's very understandable. And sometimes they're very nice and you guys get along great. I have some children that have went home years ago, and I still speak with their parents. I still see them. I will babysit for them. If we're ever doing something fun, they let me go pick up the child and still continue a relationship with the child. Because thinking of me, I've had children in my home 2 years, 3 years, and then they go home. It's hard, you know, it's very hard. So I love to do everything that I can to have a positive relationship with the children in my home with their parents. It doesn't always work out that way, but I try my best. But I always try to, because I always would like to have the child stay in my life. I think the best situation is like I have a child in foster care. They go back home with their parents, and then their parents allow me to still see them. Maybe they visit on weekends, maybe I babysit, maybe, you know, anything like that. I think that's like the perfect situation, that they were reunified with their child and they still let me continue to have a relationship with their child. It's very beautiful. I don't know how I went off topic to that, but but other than that, I'm trying to think any other questions. Yeah, you're not going to become rich fostering. So if that's what you're in it for, don't do it, though. Don't do it. That's not what it's for. That's not what it's for. The money is for the child. And that's part of the reason why when you're becoming a foster parent, they make sure that you can take care of yourself. They make sure that the money you're bringing into your home covers all of your bills. And that way they can say, okay, you can cover all of your bills, so you don't need this stipend money to support yourself. So that way, more than likely now, that stipend money is going to go for the child for the purpose that it's intended for. If you make $1,000 a month and you got $2,000 worth of bills, and then you want to be a foster parent, they're going to be like, well, do you think you're going to use $1,000 of the stipend to pay your other bills? No, boo. No, you're not. Not today. So they're going to deny you. If a child comes in your home January 2nd, you're not going to get the stipend for them until February comes. And it's whatever date in your state. So say the stipends come every month on the 5th. So even if you get a child on your home January 2nd, you're not going to get money for their stipend until February 5th, right? So if a child leaves your home January 10th, you're going to get January 1st through January 10th stipend, because it's a certain amount of money every day you get. You're going to get that the next month. So even if a child comes in your home January 4th, you're not going to get a stipend until February 5th. So when a child comes in your home, in my state, I want to say you get like a placement amount, which is like one something, and I mean 100 something. It doesn't matter if it's the first of the month, you get 100 something. And then you also get a stipend for clothing when they first come with you, and you make that last the month. And then the next month on the 5th, or whatever month, like whatever day of the month it is in your state, like in this state is the 10th, but whatever month it is in your state, you don't get it until the next month. So that's why a lot of times when kids first come into my home, even if it's like, even if they give me $100, even if they give me $200 for clothing, I'll go out and spend $300. I'll go out and spend $400, clothing, whatever, and it's fine. I'll use $200 of my own money, and it's fine. It doesn't matter. And that's why you have to really be able to take care of yourself. I'm not the type to like cry and fuss like, oh, I spent $25 of my own money. You know what I mean? Don't be that way. If you're a foster parent, don't be that way. It's okay to go into your pocket. I think that shows, you know, you're really doing it for the right reasons. When I'm out, when I have my foster kids with me, and I don't like to, children in foster care, not foster kids. They're not a foster kid. They are a child that is in foster care. But when I only say that because I would normally say their names, but I can't say their names. So that's why I'm trying to. But when I have my children that are in foster care with me, and I have my children with me, I don't like to. I know some foster parents that like, you know, if they don't have the stipend yet, they ain't getting nothing for the child. And I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't even know where this conversation is going, but I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like when you only want to use the money and the stipend. Sometimes you got to go in your own pocket. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to spend your own money. And that's the thing. Yeah, in foster care, you get a stipend for them, but you get it a month after. So every time it's a month after. So if you have them in January, you're not getting the money till February. So you're going to have to use some of your money. They give you a little bit of money when they come into your home, but not really a lot until you receive the stipend. And the stipend is whatever amount daily added up for a month. That's what you get the next month. But yeah, you're not going to be rich. If that was your plan, honey, to become a foster parent and get rich. The stipend definitely is helpful because it's expensive for kids. Everything is so expensive. Camp is expensive, clothes is expensive, daycare is expensive. So even if you get $1,000 stipend a month, y'all know how much daycare costs a month? Do y'all know? I was thinking about getting into daycare because daycare is crazy. Camp, do y'all know? Do y'all send your kids to camp? Comment below. Camp is so expensive, honey. Daycare is so expensive, honey. Okay? So don't think you finna get rich off foster care. Because first of all, they're gonna make sure that you could cover and pay your own bills. And don't be stingy with your foster kids. Don't, especially if you have teens. Like, don't be stingy. Don't be stingy. Don't be stingy. I've been seeing some things on social media where people, they want to give their children in foster care that are teens like a $20 allowance a month. Like, what they supposed to do with it? What they supposed to do with it? Okay, what are they supposed to do with that? You know, I don't like when certain people have, like, they're like, oh well, your stipend is used up, so you ain't got, no, as a foster parent, go in your own pocket. When these kids come into your house, the biggest thing you could do for them is treat them as your own. It's a terrible thing for a child in foster care to feel like they're a foster child, you know what I mean? To feel different, to feel like they already are in a home with people that they don't know, and you have to kind of gain their trust and gain their love. Even with babies, when I foster babies, I gotta gain their trust. They looking at me like, you know, just yesterday they were with their mom or dad, and now they're looking at me, a stranger. You gotta be like very loving and giving to be a foster parent, and not make it about the money. It's a terrible thing to make it about the money, to focus on the money. That's terrible. Because everybody know I be splurging on my babies, okay? But my kids, and I mean my children, through birth, through adoption, through foster care, all of them is my babies. All of them got way more than me. That's just the mama in me. I got about 5 shirts, 5 pants. My kids got so much stuff, and I'm always buying them so much stuff. And that's how you have to treat your child that is in foster care as your own. You have to treat them as your own. Parenting, the foster parent classes are very, very helpful. Very helpful, because you can see things as like where you may think as a child acting out or misbehaving, but it's really trauma, and it's really their survival methods of like how they deal with things, you know, that they've been through things that you don't know. It was a video. Actually, I still remember this video when I was in my foster parenting class, and this foster mom, she was trying to connect with her foster daughter, and she bought her foster daughter a dress, and it was a spaghetti strap dress, and she was so excited to give it to her foster daughter, and her foster daughter started screaming, going crazy, acting out when she got her the dress. And the foster mom was like, dang, what the heck, you know? And come to find out, the last time she saw her dad had domestic violence to her mother, and her mother was wearing a spaghetti strap dress, and her dad was violent towards her mom because he said spaghetti strap dresses is unacceptable. So to the daughter, now the spaghetti strap dress that the foster parent was just buying her because she thought it was like a pretty dress is like redoing that trauma for her, you know? So it's a lot to learn when you're fostering, about trauma, about behaviors, about all that, especially in older children. And there's a stereotype that older children in foster care are difficult. I've fostered older children. I have fostered teens, and they were the sweetest. I fostered a teen boy. He was the sweetest. I think that's a terrible stereotype, that all of them are just bad. He was so sweet. He loved basketball. He just liked sports, and he was the sweetest boy. Okay, so that's another stereotype. Not every old, you know how it is, like when getting adopted, older kids, like a lot of older kids age out because some people don't want to adopt them because they're like, oh, they're older and they're gonna come with all this stuff. That's a stereotype. That's not true. That's not true. Of course there's situations where it is, but no, that's not always true. I've met a lot of great teens in foster care, and they're the sweetest, and they just want love, just like the babies and the little ones in foster care do. But I think that's it for this video, y'all. I need to get my kids to the water park. I hope I answered some of your questions. It was kind of just like a freaking car chit chat. I don't know. But I haven't vlogged in a minute, so I wanted to come back. And honestly, I just thought of this. I don't know why, when I was doing my introduction, telling you guys about foster and adoption. These are just a lot of questions that I always get. I'm trying to think before I go if there's another question that I always get, but I don't think so. And this video almost 30 minutes long, y'all. All right, I gotta go, y'all. I gotta take my babies to the water park because they waiting. Gabe keep calling me. He keep calling. I see his keep coming up. All right, y'all. Bye.